guys, we had some technical problems a while ago, but we are finally back.
All right, people are coming back. Yeah, they're coming back. Hi, Naomi. She was very clean.
Yeah, guys, we're back. Finally, we're back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We need to go back on track. As we were discussing the culture and things that are affecting our culture today. You know, and the way how it has been changed, more so because of poor parenthood, or because of children just refuse to want to partake in the culture. Yes, along with me today is Pastor Yolanda Mariano, and we want to continue where we left off from. Earlier we had some technical difficulties, and we had a break in the show. But please invite a family member or friend so that we can continue the show. We were talking about the culture, Pastor Yolanda, and how the impact on our culture, not just in Dangriga or in Belize, but in a lot of Garifuna communities, because when you travel to Guatemala, you find a lot of the young Garifuna in Guatemala that are speaking mostly Spanish than Garifuna. When you go to Honduras, it's the same. You find a lot of the youngsters speaking more Spanish than Garifuna. And whilst here in Belize, we speak more English or Creole than Garifuna itself. How can that impact us as a race down the road?
Well, my opinion on that, it comes back again to the upbringing of our children. Because a lot of us now, men go have a girlfriend home, warangi. But then when I know her girlfriend home, warangi, I want to know her girlfriend, aba wado gioyi. Then the hayano ni warangi girlfriend, aba get a hishu ni gioli do. They be the halo Indura na that New York. I didn't know how I go Indura. They be the they me buy na home little girlfriend, aba one of nila chumag. So I eat a little bit wolf na home was standing go. They me buy him. Mero haya me Indura na girlfriend. Kachumag hair. They me buy no ya balisi. So me wear girlfriend. Aba me watch English thing. They get me wayano.
So largi lira. Supposed but hebe me. Wayano ha girlfriend. Yoba wayano ha de.
Yoba wayano. Neme John le nubushi. Ame lengo John le nubushi. Mayano have na English home. They me hit it less escuela English off the whole home. So muna da girlfriend wayano ha muna. They may buy mutu. They may hang lisani go nubushi. I'm hang gang at the pure girlfriend. My favorite gang at my girlfriend. They soon have lisani go John le nubushi. Okay, I agree. How I marry girlfriend wear away. The girlfriend layer boy. Why was she want one? What friend of English? They may with the last go. Friend of Chumak. They may with the last one. They buy amo nasio. Le herrero. They get home that way. Hong has standing one. Kati was say the boy wolf tani wayano how around. I ain't who you married. They be the had who you. Who you memory? Say basasuni who you. Say bangolu who you. Our times have changed. We're modernized. We don't do this no more. No. The Jewish people stick to their culture, and you cannot take it out of them for nothing. You know, them a boy he labi haweru huriyu, and then haweru huriyu. This is their day, and you have to respect them. When the Jew tell you, I am not going to work on my Sabbath, they're not going to work on their Sabbath. Regardless of what, you can't change that. So we need to stand as Garinago people and do the same thing. We can't compromise our culture to fit in to other people. Either you're going to accept us the way we are or you're not. Why is it that we, the Garinagu people, have to be the one to compromise?
Now, one of the things I also noticed, the Garifuna is a mixture of three races. And the way the elders used to speak to us, the women had the way that they speak. And the men had the way how they speak. But today, it's all together like chowmin.
Yeah, because now you don't know who's the man in the house and you don't know who's the woman in the house. That's what happened. Now the men, when the men supposed to stand as men, as leaders in their household, now the woman control them. Okay? I always say they talk so much about women abuse. There are so much men that are being abused at home. It's not only women abuse, they have men abuse. But men need to stand as men, okay?
Exactly.
And be men. You're the figure in the household. You're the leader in your house. And if you don't stand as the leader in your house, who's going to do it? Okay? If you're a man and you're drunk from Monday to Monday, what are you going to teach your children? If your wife do not respect you, you do not respect your children, your wife, nobody respect nobody, what will happen in the home? It becomes disastrous. So men need to be men. And when I'm saying men need to be men, I'm not saying that you're going to stand there and say, well, I got a man and you're supposed to follow what I say. No. Okay? The word of God says where there is no vision, the people perish. Okay? Whether you take that in religion, in culture, in any way you take it. You must have a vision. For you to be a man to lead in your household, you must know that you are the man and you must know where you're leading to. If you don't know what it's like to be a Garifuna leader, how will you lead your children as a Garifuna man?
I noticed Raymond Blake make a comment, and Raymond Blake, I know him, he's a Hispanic guy. He's not a Garifuna, but he make a very good point. Because when there's 19th of November, or whenever they approach of 19th of November, it is then you will see all the Garifuna people dressed up in their clothes or their Garifuna attire. But after the 19th, you don't see anybody with their Garifuna attire. Also, you will see an increase of Garifuna activity.
Yes.
And after the 19th, it dies down. You know,
but that's where we started off. We started off saying that we are Garifuna people, Garinagu people, whether it's 19th of November or it's not. You know, we don't just come out for the 19th celebration and after that, we forget who we are. After that, we don't live the way that our ancestors used to live. We only have the vision for Garifuna Duo during the 19th of November. From the 1st of November to the 31st of November, 30th of November, because it's 30 days April, November, 30 days. After that, it's done. So when Christmas come around again, then I say asumud luba wanargo. Logumu shofe do gumu ho wanargo, gumu pasungate.
Sungate ayo. Yeah. And our people need to be mindful that culture is supposed to continue throughout the year. Right? We should not just dress up or use our Garifuna attire the month before 19th, or the month of the November. You know, wearing the clothing is important. And as a matter of fact, I attended a meeting or two some times ago, and I have actually heard a Garifuna teacher referring to our clothing as costumes.
Yes.
And referring to our language as dialect. The same teacher referring to it as dialect. How do you explain such thing to a person who don't understand that this is not a costume?
Well, I guess they refer to it as a costume because only when we're performing for the 19th or when we have a Garifuna function, we put it on. It's just like when it's Halloween. You have a Halloween costume, you only wear it in Halloween. After Halloween, you don't wear the costume no more. So that's why they call it a costume. But if we're putting on our clothes and representing ourselves as Garinagu people all through the year, then it won't be a costume. That's our cultural attire. That's our clothes. Okay?
Exactly.
When you see the African people wear their clothes every day, regardless where they're going. Even if they're going into the White House, they have on the African attire. Okay? But when it comes to Garifuna people, if it's not 19th November, or they're going to perform, okay? They have a special occasion. You don't see them in their Garifuna outfits. So that's why it's referred to as costume. So we can't get upset. We're the one that give them that privilege to refer to our clothes as costume.
No, but the teacher is a Garifuna who refer to it as costume and the language dialect.
That is lack of knowledge on that poor soul. Lack of knowledge. He probably wasn't brought up. The parents didn't teach him or anything.
Yes, Nelson Flores make a comment. He said, the reason for that, Yolanda and Rob, is 19th of November becomes a day for everybody want to make money.
Amen. True. I agree with that. I really agree with that. Because that's when everybody wants to sell clothes. Everybody wants to make $1 from here. Everybody wants to make $1 from there. So it becomes a big thing. And after that, it's finished. I agree 100%, Mr. Nelson Flores.
Yeah, but don't you think that parents and grandparents are supposed to uphold the culture within their homes?
I agree that the parents and grandparents should do that. But like I said before, when it comes to me, if I'm going to train up my grandchildren and my children in Garifuna, I will train them the way that my grandmother and my parents trained me. Okay? So now, when they go out there now and they see something else now, then there's the conflict. Because now we're changing the Garifuna culture. So I'm going to teach them one thing. They're going to see something else, which is right.
But the one who's supposed to be the right one.
Right. The one at home should be the right one. So that's why we really got to train our children the right way at home. The right way at home. So even if they go there and somebody teach them something else, it's not a problem because they know that they were taught the right way.
Raymond made a comment there. He says it's like the Mayans ancestors. They
still wear the clothes and participate. Their culture daily, even the language. True.
Yeah, but I would say though that diversity is not just affecting the Garifuna people.
No.
It's affecting every other race of people.
Well, some because I
except that it might be causing a real impact on the Garifuna
people.
Yes.
But like I said earlier, when it comes to the Jewish people, you're not going to change their custom. You're not going to change their culture.
Yeah.
That's their belief, and that's how they do things. That's how it was passed down to them from their ancestors, and they will not change it. And we need, as Garinago, we need to be like that.
Last year was the first time I went to New York, and I was impressed because I was living in a Jewish area. And you see the Jewish, from the baby
dressing in Jewish attire.
Exactly. They use their attire. Everything that was passed down to the parent was passed down to the children. As you see one, you know one.
Right. So that's how we're supposed to be as Garinago people. We're not supposed to just wait till when it's 19th for us to be Garinago.
Raymond says, and they don't have any special day. Right? It's the parents need to teach their children the Bible.
They say that train up your child the way they should grow, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. I said that earlier. We as parents, we need to train up our children, and we need to train up our children the right way. Okay, like for instance, when my mother passed away, somebody called me and said, "Well, you know, Garinago, they boy must like had the wapilo and must be shuduna, must cut it, and all these things that you're going to do." And one person said we're supposed to put the thing up today.
Yes.
No, we're supposed to put it the day that my mother passed away. We were supposed to do the whole thing.
Okay.
Somebody said you don't do it then. You do it when the person is already buried. Okay, like whatever. you know. And then the next person said, oh, you're supposed to do it before that person is buried. So what is really the truth? All right. So now, if we're going to continue with our Garifuna culture, we got to know why we do certain things, and we got to know when we're supposed to do it.
Exactly.
All right. You don't do it because everybody do it. And I told her, I don't know the right way of doing it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, because if you're telling me as an elder, this is what we do, you should be able to tell me why we do it, when we do it, and how we do it.
Exactly.
If you can't tell me that, don't disturb me. It's just like, oh, you have to take this person to church when the person died. I don't agree with that. I feel if you never went to church when you was alive, why should I take you to church when you die? For what? It defeats the whole purpose. When you're alive, that's when you need God. When you die, you don't need God.
Exactly. You can't do nothing
You
again.
can't do that again.
You can't ask for salvation again.
I cannot take you to, my prayer cannot take a dead person to heaven. All right?
You never pray for
if
himself.
you did not work on your salvation while you're alive, you're not going to get into heaven because I pray you into it. You know? So there is things that you have to do before. All right? Not after.
Yeah, but isn't the church service for the bereaved family? To comfort the bereaved family?
But now it's the same thing. Just like how we are changing in our culture. We also change in our religion.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there is changes.
Okay, let's talk about Lady Lad a bit.
Okay.
When I talk about Lady Lad, the first word that usually come to my mouth is she's like a general in the army.
Yes, she was.
Because when we were children, we were living at Promised Land, remember? And there are times when she wanted to go and visit her in-laws, because as much as Gramps had died,
Right.
we had she frequently go and visit his sisters. Sometimes she'd go and visit her brother. Exactly, her daughter and so on. And she had about 12 to 13 grandchildren who she was taking care of. And she always had that church card with her. And when we walk on the street, we had us to walk in a straight line.
Yes.
You can't bend that line, or else you're going to get it on your foot. And she was a very, very strict woman. What else can you, would you be able to say about
See, but I just want to say, when we go back to that, that's what I was talking about. Parents have to discipline their children. And it will not kill them. Because every one of my grandmother's children that grew up in Promised Land, we all achieved something in life. It didn't kill us. Do you need a psychiatrist?
No.
Okay. But now, if you discipline your child, the child needs therapy. You have to take the child to psychiatrist. The child needs counseling. The child grow up to be a thief. The child grow up to be this. Okay? Every one of us, it was like 14 of us, like you said. Okay? There was Jan children, Amandi children, Verupna children. All right? All of us was there. And Sarah children. All of us. You know? But it didn't kill us.
Nope.
And she was a disciplinary. That woman disciplined her children. Mama, they ain't got Lady Lad. Little Jan, Tyrell Sarah, little Amandi, Tirahi Verona, not for a while. That means everybody's going to get it. You know? And she was like the woman that lived in the shoe. Okay? She had all these grandchildren. But all of us was trained up the same way. All of us was disciplined the same way. Okay? All of us. And she did the same way that she disciplined our parents, because she disciplined your father that way. She disciplined Aunt Sarah that way. She disciplined Aunt Verona that way. And it was the same way she disciplined us.
The same way she disciplined her children.
Her children. Yeah. Okay? She disciplined her grandchildren. Now it's us, the grandchildren, that should also discipline our grandchildren. That discipline in America,
it's called corporal punishment.
That is not true. I tell everybody, and I'm going to say it again. In America, you can discipline your children. There's a difference between discipline and child abuse.
That they call it.
Oh,
Because
you
it is
can
called
yeah.
here also as corporal
For punishment.
Yes.
You gotta punish your children.
Yeah.
You can't let your children do something wrong and you reward them. It won't work. But you cannot abuse your children. You can discipline them, talk to them, punish them, train them up right.
Yeah.
When my grandmother used to cook, she set all the plates. Remember? Everybody, the whole table, as much as we were, we always had dinner or breakfast together.
Has to be together.
There was that family bond. We had to eat together. And when you come, you start from the youngest to the oldest. Yes. And everybody had a place. You're going to sit and you're going to eat. And we had to pray before we eat. And then we had to say thanks. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother Harrison. Thanks, brother Noah. Thanks, brother Glenn. Thanks, Robert. Thanks. You have to thank everybody. She trained us up with discipline. Including your own brothers and sisters. Yes. That discipline had to be there.
Yeah. I think I get your point.
I missed alive and not in jail. True. Somebody said because of that, they're not in jail. They were disciplined. Okay. If they're not disciplined, then your children go all different kind of way.
That's true.
They train themselves up instead of being trained by parents.
No, we have several things in relation to the culture that we need to look at. Though we have right now, we have half an hour more to go, and so I'm trying to squeeze in all the little ends and so on before we finish the show in half an hour. Somebody say yeah.
Well said. So said. True. And June Mara said, loving the topic. But as we go back to our grandmother, Lady Lard, I want to talk a little about Lady Lard. She was a composer. And I was talking about the songs that she composed. The songs that she composed had meaning. They had significance. She didn't sing just for the sake of singing. Nowadays, we have Garinagu that compose songs. And it have no sense whatsoever. Okay? But they're promoting their songs. They're selling CDs. They're making money because we tolerate them. All right? We need to go back to the origin of things. All right? When we compose Garifuna song, we should compose Garifuna song that there's a lesson in it. A Garifuna song that will encourage somebody. A Garifuna song that will uplift. Instead of these Garifuna songs now, we have some Garifuna songs that are so vulgar. How am I going to play such song to my grandchildren? You can't do that. You know, it goes right back to the parenting. We need to parent our children and our grandchildren the right way in our Garifuna culture. You know, because then our grandchildren will grow up singing such songs. Okay? Thank God Isaiah and Charles is in New York, because if they start singing them songs to me, I'm going to be like Lady Lard. I'll punch them right in the mouth. They're not going to sing such songs. But we should go back to that. I see people now dancing punta. What happened to the way we used to dance punta? Punta used to be something that was so sweet to look at. You know, now you see people dance punta. It's like they're romancing on the floor. People dancing punta, the only thing left for them is to take their clothes off. That's not punta. I was watching somebody dance punta the other day. I'm like, my God, that's punta? That's not punta. These people used to say, come regular. You know, come regular. Never babina punta, you feel the music. You know, you have the move to go with the music. Now, punta now is, I don't know what to call it. All right? So now here I am. I want to teach my grandchildren to dance punta. I'm not going to teach my grandchildren to dance them kind of punta. Okay? Punta is punta. Punta rock is another thing. My grandmother, Lady Lard, knew nothing about punta rock. All right? She was 100% punta. All right? Now, we're talking about Garifuna Duo again. Garifuna, when it comes to like Dugu, we have songs that was for Dugu. Dugu was something that was so respectable. Now, We take our Dugu songs now. We go and we dance at the club with it. Now Dugu now is a papi show. Everybody, they get up Monday morning, they decide they want to be a bouye, and they become a bouye. Okay? You don't become a bouye overnight. All right? My grandmother Lady Lad has 2 children that was bouye. You do not get up and say, I am a bouye. That's right. Okay? There's a transformation that you have to go through. There are things that you have to go through before you become a bouye. Now, nobody respects the good no more. Because if I get up tomorrow, I want to have the good, I call you. Because we have the good tomorrow. You that bouye, I that bouye, she that bouye, everybody that bouye. You got the good now with 10 bouye. Yeah. When that happen, we need to do, we need to take our culture back. And we need to do the thing the right way. Dugu is not about money. Me, if anybody come and tell me, my father, John Mariano, want Dugu, don't waste your time because I will slap you. Okay? Because I'm not giving nobody no $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for no Dugu. Okay? That's a business now. It goes back to what somebody said about the 19th of November. It's business. We need to do what we're supposed to do to keep our culture going. And it's not a money-making thing. It's not you're better than me, I'm better than you. No. It's us coming together in one accord, in agreement. And let's train up our children. Let's build our culture. And let's respect our culture. Because if we don't respect us, nobody going to respect us.
Exactly. Nobody will respect.
Nobody.
We have to do it for ourselves.
We got to do it.
All right. Now, earlier we talked about the composer of the CD. That time it was record. Right? When Lady Lad brought out that record. Remember? You remember what year she brought out that record? If I can recollect, it would have been around 1975, 76. The same one that we are playing today.
The CD?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was 1977.
No, 77 was too late. Because, I remember I had,
there for the recording.
right, I had posted on Facebook because Myrtle asked me, because I have the original and it had the date on it. But now while you're there, I don't remember if it was 75 or 76, but it was either 75 or 76. But Cousin Myrtle Palacio knew because I had texted the thing. But now while you're there, I don't remember.
Sandra said you said a mouthful. Said take that to you. She didn't complete the full sentence.
Right.
I think she was hurrying to send the text message. But you can complete the message, Sandra. Because again, it's an interaction that we want to have with our people, discussing the things that is affecting our country, our culture. Sorry. No, but my thing now is that we have a lot of Garifuna people living in the United States, right? And the way I see it is left on us here at home to secure the culture at home. When the Garifuna Americans go to states, it appears that they don't want to pay their part of the contribution to their children. Because I can tell you that I visit America a lot. And when I don't go and family come here and they bring their children, I would ask them, what do you know about Garifuna? And many a time, the kids that live in America don't even know that Garifuna is a race. Most of them believe that Garifuna is a country. That's the feedback I get from them.
Because their parents is not teaching them. It goes back to the same thing. The parents have a great responsibility for us to teach our children and our grandchildren.
I'll take my hands off to you. Okay, thank you, Sandra. But then keep me make a comment here. I need to go back. But keep me a comment to say what we preach, something. Do you want to say practice what we preach? Right?
We need to first We need to first use the land reserved for the Garinagu to practice what we preach. We need a place of gathering, baking cassava, get the children and the adults, okay? So,
and I will say this, right, that I and Keith are okay. And many a times, Keith, we have a lot of people, home and abroad, that make comments like, we need to do this, and we need to do that, and we need to do the other, especially when it comes to big project. But as former president of the National Government Council, I think that I agree with all of them that we need to do this and we need to do that. Don't get me wrong. But I think we need to as well come together and get it done.
right.
We cannot just say we need to get this done. We need to partake. We need to work together to get it done. Because who is we? We have to do it, all of us. Every person is important. And every person is supposed to contribute one way or the other.
But
Because, like for example, now, here in Dangriga and in PG, they have, or we have, like in PG, you have the Carib Reserve. Dangriga also have Carib Reserve. And there's a talking that there are still land that left on the Carib Reserve. And PG, they have their Carib Reserve, which is communal land. Right? And they don't give papers, but here in Dangriga, all the way from Drums of My Father to somewhere around 3 miles is Carib Reserve, you know, or was Carib Reserve. Okay. But people receive papers for their land, and what they do, end up selling their land.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we deal with that? Because whether for you, and nobody can tell you what to do with it. And if you notice, we're having that problem in St. Bite, we're having that problem with Hopkins and in most Garifuna community, where the Garifuna people are selling their land. Then you have some people who are saying, make we take it back. But how do we do that? It is not as easy as how it is said.
No, because that's their property and they sell it to who they want to sell it to. You can't do that. But where he said about teaching cassava and how to bake cassava and things like that. Now, there's only few people that still make cassava.
Mm-hmm.
So, if these people that are still baking cassava, when they die, that's it.
Exactly.
Okay? That's it.
But in the olden days, everybody in the family, including the grandchildren, had to play their role.
Right. Because they better mind lady lad. I know I'm a dancer without tooth. And I am without nute. I will have without isubara. Wamaina.
Exactly.
Like me wamaina wadaya. Sume muto hachiba. Let me tell you, I wasn't to grab a birana wa bakura. Okay? Therefore, me naya to my lady lad. I was about 9 years old. Then naya. Gweleti. My hat now, you're not going to put me by that fire no more. I don't know. I'm about cassava.
I think it was Keith that make a comment, but the comment move away too fast. But Joe Griff is saying, what is the number for Carl? Call me on 601-8758, Joe. Call me on 601-8758 because we only have 15 more minutes to go. But feel free to call me on my cell number 601-8758. No, Joe, don't call. I just remember the phone. We're using the phone at this time, Joe. So we can't do calling at this time.
Just text.
You know, just text. You need to text in. I just remember. If you call, then it will just shut the show right off. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can do a video call with you, Joe. I'll call you right now. Hold on. We'll do it again. This is the one. Oh yes, the next one. Yeah. Anyway, Joe, right now we're using the phone with the chip, so we are not able to receive call at this time. But you can send your text and then we just discuss it together like what everybody is doing. Because the phone that we normally use, something wrong with it. The camera just went off. So sorry about that, Joe. You say we can do something, Robert. Yes, Joe, but what is it can we do, Joe? I know that it's a bit slow via the text. And I'm hoping that next week, Joe, I'll make sure I have everything set. So I'll give you an opportunity to call into the show next week. But still go ahead with your comment, Joe. Like I was saying, when it comes to the Ereba or making of the cassava way back, the kids had their role to play. We even have to sit down when the cassava, after it is grind, to put in the, how you call it, the wola. We still have to sit down on the thing to put weight on it. Ruguma, yeah. To make it get dry. We have to sit down on it as well as kids. We have to also help in the getting of the firewood and the hawks.
So everybody had a role to play.
Everybody had a role to play, and your share is just the arrow.
Yeah.
As the kids. And then the kids share. The arrow. Yeah. So there's a lot we talk about today, Yolanda, and there's a lot more that we can talk, but maybe we can go in another 5 more minutes of discussion, and then we'll just end the show by playing your grandmother's song and, to finish off the hour.
Okay.
But Sandra made a comment. She said,
I, for one, teach my children and my grandchildren who I am, where I am, and who their culture. I cook, I speak, and I teach the language they need to know. I am proud of who I am. Very good.
Yes, very good, Sandra. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Good.
More people need to do that.
Yes. But you know what was strange? Last year I went to New York and I met one of my niece. She's Miranda. I'm Leo's daughter. And everything I asked that child about Garifuna, she was able to answer.
Because
that was one of the first child who born in America and live in America full time that I spoke to and asked her questions about Garifuna, who was able to answer me 100%. She said, Uncle, I can't speak it much. But every question I asked her in relation to the language, how do you say this in English? She was able to answer 15 out of 15 questions. And again, we need to uphold the culture and keep it up. But like you rightly mentioned, grandparents and parents need to play their part. It is not something that will just jump out of the air and happen. Because there are times we want things to happen, but on the peril of somebody else.
Right.
Which to my mind is bad. All of us have to contribute, And Keith was making a mention about something, but the question went real fast. So I couldn't have answered the question. But down the road later on, I'll go back through the comments and questions, and then I hope that I can try to answer some of them. I noticed Joe Guerrero went off, but I hope that myself and Joe can discuss this issue because some issue came up. So,
but the number one teachers are the parents, grandparents, great grandparents at home. That's where you start teaching your children.
Yeah, Nelson Flores said, I remember doing all that with my grandmother. It was what we do as grandchildren when they bake cassava. But today, today I look back and wonder, what does grandchildren has to do now in common along with grandparents when it comes to the culture? Right? It's a pity she didn't speak it. She says, I also know about our family tree. Yes, Jennifer, but I am saying that I asked Nisi 15 questions in English, right? I asked her, how do you say this in Garifuna? She was able to tell me those 15 questions. I said it in English, and she was able to say it in Garifuna. And I said 15 in Garifuna, and she was able to interpret it in English as well. And I'm very much proud of your daughter speaking about Garifuna. I speak Garifuna, and I discussed the Garifuna history to her, and she was able to interact along with me. So she knew the information, and this is the way I'm saying that I need to see more Garifuna children who born and raised in the United States should be. It's just like her, because like I said, I was very much impressed when it comes to her, and that was all the way in New York. Yeah.
But I have two of my children that live with my parents. And I have my daughter Naomi. Everybody know. Naomi, Gemma dit Naomi girlfriend. Gega dit Naomi girlfriend. Gaffer dit Naomi 1 hour. Gabin had it Naomi 1 hour. What's the atmosphere of the girlfriend? You know? And then I have it around here to get off the whole around.
Exactly.
Because over had this tar with it too. That is a friend of mine. How I get to my get target to my tar with it. To over that way home around. So later, but the girlfriend know that terasa.
And yes, Jennifer, you have a reason to be proud, because it must be that you taught your children about your history, right, and about your culture. You taught her everything, and I was, like I mentioned, I told you about it too, that I was very much impressed with her when I asked her those questions. And it is my habit of asking some of our youngsters. It is not to take them down or to discredit anybody, but it's to help build them up, because it is my thing to try and teach them. When all of my nieces and nephews who don't understand Garifuna leave, and when they come and hang around me, by the time they leave, they have to learn something from me.
Right.
Yeah. So we have how much? We have 10 more minutes, guys. We hopefully will be able to answer questions for about the next 5 minutes, and then we break. But it is obvious that the show today was very informative, Pastor Yolanda, and there's a lot of interaction from the people who are viewing the show. It's a pity the show had some break in it. If it had joined all together, we would have seen the huge numbers, likes and comment on the show from the viewers. I'm sure that people are very much pleased with your presentation as a pastor. It is obvious that you do counseling as well.
Oh, yes.
And I'm very much impressed at the same time for you being a pastor, that you still upheld and respect your culture. And that is what is important. Yeah. So any final comment from you before we break?
The only comment I have is let's continue to teach our children and our grandchildren. And when we teach them, let's teach them the right thing. Teach them the way that we were taught, not the things that we see now. Because a lot of our culture, they have changed. People are diluting them. People are doing what they want to do. But let's go back to the old training and the old teaching, and let's continue to pass it on, that our culture will continue to build up and be strong. I am proud of who I am as a Garifuna woman. So I don't speak Garifuna fluently. I dance, sing, and play the drums. And my aunt Ara did, what did you say? Oh. That was Naomi. That's my daughter. My baby.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen. Thanks you, Miss Jennifer. Thanks. And also Sandra Apollonio. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sandra. And I'm sure that those guys, they enjoyed the show today.
Yes.
So that's it for your comment?
Up. Yes.
That's it. Okay, guys. Well, we will end the show with a few songs from the great Lady Lad, Mariano.
That never Lady Lad make us.
I was on the CD. I was on the CD last time they in there.
That's it.
That's them. Yeah, that's them. That's on the CD.
Oh yeah, only that was yeah.
In the Biasa, oh, la luna in the Biasa, oh, la luna oh, make it one. Lidama, Genevi Nayahu, Panicula, it doesn't
Hello there.
I'm going to go home soon. Hallelujah.
want people to sign it in now.